Today, we return to the curious case of one Joseph Boam. For those of you who may not know or may be new to this, Joseph Boam, or Councillor Boam, as we should probably call him, give his official title and all that. He is an elected councillor for Reform UK in Leicestershire. He was originally elected not only as deputy leader of the council group there, but he was also the guy in charge of adult social care, having absolutely zero experience in running anything like that in his entire life. To which we have said before, why on earth would you put someone in that position? Madness. Anyway, everything seemed to be quite fine until out of nowhere, Boam was not only removed as deputy, he also was removed as the chair for adult social care. Not only that, he was then later removed as one of the heads of one of the local organisations in Leicestershire that he himself had set up. Only to then it come out just a couple of days later, he was under investigation by the police and the Electoral Commission because apparently he had been giving ice creams out to people who were voting for free, which, as you know, is a big no-no. However, as you may know, or long-time watchers may know, this story takes a lot of very big, interesting twists and turns, especially some of the stuff that has actually been said in the council chambers themselves in Leicestershire. So we're going to do a little bit of an update. Because while this police investigation, or at least the police, are not going to take any further action on this case, this still raises a lot of questions now about Councillor Boam himself and what is going to happen to him next. Very interesting indeed. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a catch-up given the fact that this had happened, but it's well worth reminding people of what happened on this. So before we go on into this more, please, of course, do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Don't forget, of course, to ring the bell so you get notifications on when we go live or when we drop a new video. There are, of course, links down below for the Patreon page. There's the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and, of course, as always, there is the YouTube membership down below as well. There's also this QR code up here, which will take you straight to the Patreon page as well. So thank you very much to everyone who does help and support the channel. And, of course, don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know about what you think about all this. Because, to me, Boam was always come across as someone who I think really wanted power. You wouldn't just randomly put your hand up and say, yeah, not only do I want to be deputy leader, I want to be, the guy in charge of adult social care. So after this, of course, he is removed from these positions, there's then this kerfuffle that goes on online of, well, Boam came to me, and that was Councillor Harrison, of course, came to, Councillor Harrison and said that, oh, it was just too difficult. I can't get on with the job. To which Boam replied online that was nonsense. He never said that. Even his mum came out and said, no, he was doing a wonderful, fantastic job. To which then further came out that he was now alleged to be bullying other members of younger members of the party. No proof about that, whether that was true or not. It's just been put out there by Harrison, bear in mind. So, Boam, there's a good case to take him to court over that. Just saying. In fact, there's a lot of stuff you could do. So, just saying, my friend. But please do that. This could cause so much chaos and stuff. And I'm always content hungry, Boam. So if you want to go cause some chaos on your local reform group, please, by all due means, go do that. It would be hilarious to watch. But not only, of course, do you have that, then after all this has happened, bear in mind, and he's been removed, he's now sitting as this backbencher, I can't remember the Conservative councillor's name, stood up and said in a chamber, where again it's matter of record, said that Brom came to him and said that Dan Harrison, you know, the leader of Leicestershire County Council, had been bullying him. So we still do not really know the real reason why he was removed. I think, of course, it is this. It is the fact that this whole ice cream scandal came about. Now, as you can see, the police have said they're not going to take any further actions. He is crowing about it, said, "You see, I never did anything wrong." You know, his quote is here, said, you know, "From the start, investigation was a blatant farce. Inevitable clap, of course, now proves it." But what's going to happen now to you, Brom? Because I get the feeling this was why you were removed. He's now a backbencher. He's also lost his position, bear in mind, as one of the local leaders of one of the reform groups. So he's been stripped of pretty much everything. Now, Brom, there's some interesting points where you could maybe score a win against Harrison. First of all, LGR, by the looks of it, is going to be causing a lot of chaos in your area. Good opportunity to give you know, Dan Harrison a bit of a kicking if you wanted to. Not only that, but the budget potentially also, well, probably looking like it might not come in on time. Maybe deadlines are not going to be met, and well, you know, Harrison's, you know, looking a bit tired. He's looking a bit old, not really up to the task. I'm just saying, Brom, you know, if you wanted to remove him, there's some opportunities coming your way if you wanted to get revenge. Please do, because oh boy, the content would be incredible. So it's interesting to see, of course, where this will go. He's obviously now been well, the police have decided not to continue, of course, in this. I think, what have they said now? So the police officially said about this: the force, of course, received a report from a third party of an ice cream van outside a polling station back on May the 25th. This was assessed as to whether this constitutes treating under electoral malpractice. On completion of the assessment, a police investigation, of course, then took place. No criminal offences were, of course, identified, and no further action will be taken. So, you know, cleared, but really weird that you would have an ice cream station outside a polling station. Really weird to set it up there, Brom. Really weird. But yeah, really weird times. We'll see if this will cause more of an upset, maybe on Leicestershire Council. Will Councillor Brom here decide that you know, vengeance now must be had? Will he try and push back? Maybe try and, you know, reclaim some of his positions? Will he try and, you know, become the leader of his local reform group in Leicestershire again? Will he try and push for that now this investigation is over? Will he try and even maybe see if he can retake a cabinet position? But in order to do that, you know, you've got to topple some more people. And as Littlefinger once said, Brom, take this to heart: chaos is a ladder. And you know, perhaps there's a lot of chaos you could cause. After all, you were deputy leader, you know, probably a lot more stuff. Imagine the stuff that could be, I don't know, accidentally leaked to local newspapers or maybe YouTubers who are following all this. I don't know. But, you know, just food for thought there, Brom. Food for thought. Anyway, as always, let me know what you think about all this, as always. And of course, we'll see you all next time.